Today I'm going to be riding Germany's secret high-speed train, with an interior fit for royalty. I'll be taking this little-known luxury train for a non-stop journey from Berlin to Frankfurt. This is the Metropolitan ICE, and we'll be looking at all parts of its lavish design. Oh, and this is second class, by the way. We'll even visit the stylish onboard bar and learn about the history of this special train. So join me for a unique ride through Germany on the Metropolitan ICE. Welcome to Germany's capital city. This is Berlin Hauptbahnhof, the city's main station. Due to Berlin's difficult history, the station only opened fairly recently, in 2006. Prior to reunification, the western part of the city was served by Berlin Zoologischer Garten, while East Berlin was served by Berlin Ostbahnhof, or Berlin East. Some years after the city became one again, construction started on a new centrally located main station, and after 10 years, the modern station finally opened to passengers. The interior of the station is huge, with platforms both above and below the main entrance level. All levels in between are filled with a massive variety of shops, including both German and international brands. The upper level of the station has a very open feel to it, with a large glass canopy letting in a lot of natural light. These tracks run east to west, on a bridge through the city. Meanwhile, the low level runs north to south through a tunnel. Westbound trains from the upper level generally serve routes through Hanover and Nordrhein-Westfalen. Most eastbound trains terminate in Berlin, but there is a frequent service to Poznań and Warszawa in Poland. Southbound, trains serve Dresden and München, as well as the international route to Praha in Czechia. Finally, trains to the north branch off just outside the station, with the northwest heading towards Hamburg, and the northeast to the coastal resorts of Warnemünde and Stralsund. Anyway, enough about other trains. My luxurious ride today is ICE 1134, running non-stop to Frankfurt am Main. We'll be departing from track 2, on the low level of the station. My train is already waiting here, and as you can see it looks no different from any other German ICE from the outside. However, there are a few major changes, especially the completely different interior, which we'll soon have a look at. The first of these changes is the presence of a locomotive. All other ICE services are operated with streamlined multiple units, but this service is hauled by a DB101 electric locomotive, which are usually used on regular intercity services. This example is 101-126, built in 1998. It's part of a small group of locomotives permitted to operate with these carriages. These locomotives normally only do 200 km an hour, but this example has special authorization to reach 220 km an hour. I'll be travelling in second class today, with a seat reservation in coach 5. This carriage is in a 2+1 seating layout, making it very spacious. This layout is normally only used in first class. My seat is number 82, a forward-facing solo seat. As I booked my ticket directly on the DB website, I can use the comfort check-in feature, which allows me to validate my ticket, removing the need for a manual ticket inspection. Today's route will see us running west along the Berlin to Hanover high-speed route, heading south just before the city. We continue to Würzburg, finally heading west into Frankfurt am Main. The journey is scheduled to take 4 hours and 3 minutes to cover the 586 kilometers, or about 364 miles. We depart from Berlin Hauptbahnhof on time at 07:53, soon surrounded by darkness as we head north out of the station. I'll show you around this train's incredible interior very soon, but we've got another pickup station in Berlin first. This is Berlin Spandau, which serves as an interchange between long-distance trains and S-Bahn commuter routes, as well as other public transport. The station in its current form was constructed in the late 1990s, and with its 6 platforms serves a lot of daily traffic here in the west of the city. From here, we'll run non-stop to Frankfurt, nearly 4 hours without any stops. Immediately after leaving Berlin Spandau, we join the Berlin to Hanover high-speed railway, allowing us to accelerate up to speed. So this interior is fancy, that much is a fact. But why does this train have such a special design? Our story goes back to 1999, with Deutsche Bahn looking to capture more of the luxury business travel market. For this purpose, they set up the Metropolitan, running between Hamburg and Köln using 2 dedicated luxury train sets, similar to the then brand new ICE2. This train featured first class seating only, with different categories catered to specific passenger needs, such as working on the go with large tables for meetings, but also a quiet car for sleep or relaxation. There was even a cocktail and espresso bar, which of course fit the train's grand interior. Unfortunately, the service was not as popular as first anticipated, and just 2 years after the service begun, modifications were already in place as a desperate attempt to increase ridership. This included the conversion of 2 carriages to second class, but ultimately this was not successful, with the service's failure being blamed on low-cost airlines. Eventually, in 2004, the service was cancelled, with the carriages continuing in service on regular DB trains, with the unique interiors retained. Now you're up to speed, and so is the train, let's take a look at the interior, starting with the seat. These seats look absolutely fantastic, with sumptuous leather covers and real wooden frames. I'm pleased to report they completely live up to this appearance in comfort too, with good padding and ergonomics. Tucked away under the seat in front of you is a single European power socket, but it can be a bit of a stretch if your power cable is not very long. Also available on the seat in front is a small storage net. Above this is the seat back table, and this is really cool. Deployed with a metal button, the table has a double folding design, allowing you to have a smaller table if you only need to put smaller items on it. The larger position offers a decent size, perfect for getting some work done. For legroom, these trains are very generous. There's loads of space here, ideal for either relaxing or working. There's also a recline button, found on one of the 2 armrests, which further increases the comfort. Oh, and these huge leather and wood armrests, which are well padded themselves, look absolutely fantastic, much like the rest of the train. We've now been on the move for about 90 minutes, and are already in the Hanover area. This station is Lehrte, historically a massive junction in the days of the Kingdom of Hanover. Personally, I think they could do with looking after this station a bit. We briefly pass through the city of Hanover too, though we avoid the centre and instead head south onto the Hanover to Würzburg main line. This station is Hanover Messe Laatzen, built specifically to serve the exhibition centre nearby. During major events, this station also serves long distance trains in addition to the regular local trains. As the weather takes a turn for the worse, we begin to build speed on the Hanover to Würzburg route. This route has a troubled history and is an impressive piece of infrastructure. As we'll soon see, much of the route is built in hilly conditions, necessitating the construction of 61 tunnels and 10 large bridges. In fact, due to this, the line encountered over 10,000 complaints and was challenged by more than 300 lawsuits. Construction lasted from 1973 to 1991 as a result. The line has a length of 327 kilometres and has a top speed of 280 kilometres an hour. Now I really cannot get over just how incredible this train's interior is, especially considering I only have a second class ticket. One of my favourite features has to be the under-seat lighting. It looks very fancy, but the ceiling having a metal mesh effect definitely has to be up there too. Above the seat, you can find your standard reading light, activated by a button. There's also what looks like an attendant call button. I wonder if this still works. By the window, there's a coat hook for each seat, which can slide along the rail. I also just love the corrugated effect above and beneath the windows. It almost reminds me of American-style Bud rail cars. Despite being a non-stop service, there are still a few major stations on our route, such as Göttingen, which usually sees most other ICE trains stop. This is a beautiful station, and with its palm trees out front, it almost looks like it belongs by the Mediterranean. The sun also decided to come back out here, so I tried out the adjustable blind, which didn't really block out much light. At this point I was beginning to get fairly hungry, so I decided to head to the bar and grab breakfast. The hot drinks machine was sadly not working, so I just got a butter croissant, served hot for €2.50. Not cheap, but it was nice. Anyway, for luggage space, the Metropolitan is equipped with large overhead racks. You can find plenty of additional room beneath the seats, with even more found on the floor at the end of the carriage, though make sure you don't block any doors. The next major station we pass is Kassel-Wilhelmshöhe. This is the main station in the city of Kassel, meaning that Kassel Hauptbahnhof is uniquely not the main station here. Our journey continues along the spectacular Hanover to Würzburg high-speed line, as we speed through these picturesque hills across one of the route's many viaducts. We are not too far out of Frankfurt right now, so let's quickly take this opportunity to look around the rest of the train. This is one of the other second-class carriages in a 2+2 seating layout. When the Metropolitan service ended, each set had 2 second-class carriages and 5 first-class, which means that some of the first-class carriages were reclassified as second-class. Through here we have one of the 2 former cocktail and espresso bars on the train. Of course, having 2 of these on a 7-carriage train was excessive, so one of these remains closed. Unfortunately, I didn't visit the toilets on this journey. I wonder if they were as fancy as the rest of the interior. We're now within the city of Frankfurt, so let's look at how much this secret luxury train cost. For this trip, I bought a one-way second-class ticket, valid only on this specific departure, which also included a journey on local transport in both Berlin and Frankfurt. This cost me €33.90 and an additional €4 for a seat reservation. I think that this is fantastic value for money when you consider the speed and luxury on this non-stop train. Unfortunately, it's time for the bad news. These trains were completely withdrawn from the network at the end of 2021 due to requiring extensive overhauls and a lack of spare parts. For the final run, the train's original Metropolitan branding was reinstated. At the time of editing, the 2 trains are for sale, with their future very much unknown. We're now on the insanely busy approach to Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof, a station so big that DB themselves refer to it as the most important in Germany. The station here has a grand design, with multiple arches sitting above the tracks. We arrive in Frankfurt with just a small delay of 2 minutes. Overall, I really enjoyed this experience on the Metropolitan ICE, which was a unique and classy way to travel. As always, let me know what you thought of the journey in the comments, and for a video on the modern ultra luxurious trains in Georgia, click up here now.